Namaste and welcome to our channel. Courage is bravery. It is a necessity to overcome fear and do what you were first afraid to do. In our lives, we come to a lot of situations where we are capable of doing certain things, but our fear comes in our way. And that's the time when we have to have courage and confidence to do so. So, if you are in any of such situations right now, these affirmations about courage can help you get over it. So, let's begin. Fortune favors the bold. Man cannot discover new oceans unless he has the courage to lose sight of the shore. Life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. Success means having the courage, the determination, and the will to become the person you believe you were meant to be. To dare is to lose one's footing momentarily. To not dare is to lose oneself. Courage is being scared to death and saddling up anyway. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. He who is brave is free. Courage is fear holding on a minute longer. If you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life. Never let the fear of striking out get in your way. The secret to happiness is freedom, and the secret to freedom is courage. He who is not courageous enough to take a risk will accomplish nothing in life. In any given moment, we have two options: to step forward into growth or to step back into safety. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. Courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form. Courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point. Courage is knowing what not to fear. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. The devil whispers, "You can't withstand the storm." The warrior replied, "I am the storm." It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends. Courage is the price that life exacts for granting peace. Just as courage is the danger of life, so is fear its safeguard. The most courageous act is still to think for yourself aloud. From caring comes courage. He is a man of courage who does not run away, but remains at his post and fights against the enemy. Most of us have more courage than we ever dreamed we possessed. You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind, next to honor. There are two mistakes one can make along the road to truth: not going all the way and not starting. Courage is like love. It must have hope for nourishment. Courage is like love. It must have hope for nourishment. Freedom is a system based on courage. Courage is action, not talk. Valor grows by daring, fear by holding back. If you could get up the courage to begin, you have the courage to succeed. Sometimes, even to live is an act of courage. Courage conquers all things. It even gives strength to the body. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. Courage is on display every day, and only the courageous wring the most out of life. You can't test courage cautiously. Courage is doing what you are afraid to do. There can be no courage unless you are scared. Courage is doing what you are afraid to do. There can be no courage unless you are scared. What you are afraid to do is a clear indication of the next thing you need to do. People don't follow titles, they follow courage. Without courage, wisdom bears no fruit. The greatest test of courage on the earth is to bear defeat without losing heart. Creativity takes courage. Fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision. Only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly. Great people do things before they are ready. They do things before they know they can do it. Sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of courage, and I promise you something, great will come of it. One man with courage is a majority. Thank you for listening to us. Namaste and welcome to our channel. Traveling is not an easy task. A lot of times, you just feel down and lonely and question if it's really worth it. Yes, it is. It's strange how just a few words can change your mood entirely and let you see things from another perspective. So here I am with some adventure quotes. Maybe you need that extra push-up to book your one-way ticket. Or perhaps you're already on the road, tired and beaten up. I hope this will help. Let's begin. Jobs fill your pockets, but adventures fill your soul. Life is a fatal adventure. It can only have one end, so why not make it as far-ranging and free as possible? You must go on adventures to find out where you truly belong. Attitude is the difference between an ordeal and an adventure. Nothing adventured, nothing attained. Spontaneity is the best kind of adventure. Don't die without embracing the daring adventure your life was meant to be. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, and venture belongs to the adventurers. We are not home and hearth people, we are the adventurers, the buccaneers, the blockade runners. Without challenge, we are only alive. Life is not a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but rather to skid in broadside, thoroughly used up, totally worn out, and proudly proclaiming, "Wow, what a ride!" We are all functioning at a small fraction of our capacity to live life fully in its total meaning of loving, caring, creating, and adventuring. The voyage of discovery is not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. Life was meant for good friends and great adventures. Do not go where the path may lead, go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. The price of anything is the amount of life you exchange for it. Then one day, when you least expect it, the great adventure finds you. I don't want to not live because of my fear of what could happen. There is no end to the adventures that we can have if only we seek them with our eyes open. If you obey all the rules, you miss all the fun and adventures. If we all did things we are capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. You can't cross the sea merely by standing and staring at the water. Every man can transform the world from one of the monotony and drabness to one of excitement and adventure. It is never too late to be who you might have been. Take risk, adventure is out there, you just need to seek it. A ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are built for. Own only what you can carry with you. No language, no countries, no people. Let your memory be your travel bag. The purpose of life is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for nearer and richer experience. The purpose of life is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for newer and richer experience. Adventure is worthwhile in itself. One way to get the most out of life is to look upon it as an adventure. Knowledge is an unending adventure at the edge of uncertainty. I'm not an adventurer by choice, but by fate. Make your life a mission, not an intermission. The big question is whether you are going to be able to stay a hearty yes. The big question is whether you are going to be able to say a hearty yes to your adventure. We live in a wonderful world that is full of beauty, charm, and adventure. There is no end to the adventures that we can have if only we seek them with our eyes open. It is only in adventure that some people succeed in knowing themselves in finding themselves. The tragedy of life is not that it ends so soon, but that we wait so long to begin it. There is more security in the adventurous and exciting, for in movement there is life, and in change there is power. Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. Adventures don't come calling like unexpected cousins calling from out of town. You have to go looking for them. Adventure, without it, why live? The great adventure is what lies ahead. Man cannot discover new oceans unless he has the courage to lose sight of the shore. Don't die without embracing the daring adventure your life is meant to be. The thirst for adventure is the wind which destiny offers. A war, a crusade, a gold mine, a new country speak to the imagination and offer. Adventure must be held in delicate fingers. It should be handled, not embraced. It should be seen. Adventure must be held in delicate fingers. It should be handled, not embraced. It should be sipped, not swallowed at a gulp. The secret of reaping the greatest fruitfulness and the greatest enjoyment from life is to live dangerously. Fill your life with adventures, not things. Have stories to tell, not stuff to show. A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. To the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure. Adventure isn't hanging on a rope off the side of a mountain. Adventure is an attitude that we must apply to the day-to-day obstacles in life. Thank you for listening to us. Namaste and welcome to our channel. Nobody wants to be alone. Being humans, we are wired to be social, and these quotes about loneliness are all about that. These quotes about loneliness will soothe your soul and help you when you need it most, and cope with the feeling of loneliness and isolation. Let's start. I want to be with those who know secret things or else alone. Loneliness is the poverty of self. Solitude is richness of self. The real loneliness is living among all these kind people who only ask one to pretend. Love your solitude and try to sing out with the pain it causes you. Cherish your solitude. Take trains by yourself to places you have never been. Whosoever is delighted in solitude is either a wild beast or a god. Because once alone, it is impossible to believe that one could ever have been otherwise. loneliness is an absolute discovery. If you wanted to do something absolutely honest, something true, it always turned out to be a thing that had to be done alone. My happiness will remain in everything with which God so generously surrounds human loneliness. It is in your power to withdraw yourself whenever you desire. Perfect tranquility within consists in the good ordering of the mind, the realm of your own. In order to be open to creativity, one must have the capacity for constructive use of solitude. One must overcome the fear of being alone. There is a certain strength in being alone. Loneliness is the human condition. Cultivate it. The way it tunnels into you allows your soul room to grow. My solitude is my treasure, the best thing I have. I hesitate to go out. If you open the little gate, I would not hope away. But oh, how I sing in my gold case. Perhaps only people who are capable of real togetherness have that look of being alone in the universe. Perhaps only people who are capable of real togetherness have that look of being alone in the universe. The others have a certain stickness. They stick to the mass. Some nights are made for reflection or the savoring of loneliness. Don't think you can frighten me by telling me that I am alone. France is alone. God is alone, and the loneliness of God is His strength. There are people who like to be alone without feeling lonely at all. The secret of a good old age is simply an honorable pact with solitude. To be left alone is the most precious thing one can ask of the modern world. The thing about living alone is that it gives you a lot of time to think. The writer's curse is that even in solitude, no matter its duration, he never grows lonely or bored. Solitude sometimes is best society. Solitude is a chosen separation for refining your soul. Isolation is what you crave when you neglect the first. One of the most important things you can do on this earth is to let people know they are not alone. If you are lonely when you are alone, you are in bad company. Solitude is fine, but you need someone to tell that solitude is fine. We live as we dream, alone. The loneliness you feel with another person, the wrong person, is the loneliest of all. Lonely people tend rather to be lonely because they decline to bear the psychic cost of being around other humans. They are allergic to people. People affect them too strongly. I am lonely, yet not everybody will do. I don't know why some people fill the gaps and others empathize my loneliness. Sometimes you need to sit lonely on the floor in a quiet room in order to hear your own voice and not let it drown in the noise of others. My loneliness was born when men pressed my talkative walls and blamed my silent virtues. My loneliness was born when men praised my talkative faults and blamed my silent virtues. The trouble is not really in being alone, it's being lonely. One can be lonely in the midst of a crowd, don't you think? We have all known the long loneliness, and we have learned that the only solution is love, and that love comes with community. When we cannot bear to be alone, it means we do not properly value the only compassion we will have from birth to death, ourselves. Maybe true love isn't out there for me, but I can sublimate my loneliness with the notion that true love is out there for someone. The soul that sees beauty may sometimes walk alone. I am stronger than depression, and I am braver than loneliness, and nothing will ever exhaust me. There are worse things than feeling alone. Things like being with someone and still feeling alone. A season of loneliness and isolation is when the caterpillar gets its wings. Remember that next time you feel alone. Negative emotions like loneliness, envy, and guilt have an important role to play in a happy life. They are big, flashing signs that something needs to change. The greatest thing in the world is to know how to belong to oneself. People think being alone makes you lonely, but I don't think that's true. Being surrounded by the wrong person is the loneliest thing in the world. I used to think the worst thing in life was to end up all alone. It's not. The worst thing in life is to end up with people that make you feel all alone. Loneliness adds beauty to life. It puts a special burn on sunsets and makes night air smell better. Sometimes you need to take a break from everyone and spend time alone to experience, appreciate, and love yourself. If one is different, one is bound to be lonely. I want to be with those who know secret things or else alone. Thank you for listening to us. Namaste and welcome to our channel. There is a saying, time and tide waits for none. The saying is indeed true. Time waits for none. It comes and goes. Time is absolutely unboundable. Neither money nor position can buy it. Nothing on earth can subdue or conquer it. The most remarkable feature of time is its preciousness. Its value is unfathomable, and its power is inestimable. Its potential is something which we cannot calculate. A minute is enough to win a victory. A second is enough to make you the richest man in the world. A fraction of a second can make a difference between life and death. So, it is very important to value the time. The quotes we are reciting today will make you understand the value of time. Sadness flies on the wings of time. Some people are old at 18 and some are young at 90. Time is a concept that humans created. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Sometimes later becomes never. Do it now. Successful people understand the value of time. Once they commit to doing something, they would never cancel. The bad news is that time flies. The good news is you are the pilot. You can't own it, but you can use it. The more you value your time, the more value it will bring. The most precious gift you can give someone is the gift of your time and attention. The season of failure is the best time for sowing the seeds of success. The time for action is now. It's never too late to do something. The trouble is, you think you have time. The two most powerful warriors are patience and time. There are no secrets that time does not reveal. Those who make the worst use of their time are the first to complain of its shortness. 3 things you can't recover in life: word after it is said, the moment after it is missed, and time after it is gone. Time, you can't keep it, but you can spend it. Time as he grows old teaches many lessons. Time flies over us but leaves its shadow behind. Time goes by so fast. Never miss an opportunity to tell people how much they mean to you. Time has a wonderful way of showing us what really matters. Time is always beyond its value. Time is basic unless it is managed. Nothing else can be managed. Time is fire in which we burn. Time is free, but it's priceless. You can't own it, but you can use it. You can't keep it, but you can spend it. Once you have lost it, you can never get it back. Time is limited, therefore precious. So don't waste it. Time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time. Time is priceless. Spend it with people you have high value and energy exchange rates. Time is sacred. It needs to be measured carefully, but not counted according to world's standard. Time is so valuable that if you pay millions of coins, you cannot get back even a moment. Time is the coin of your life. It is the only coin you have, and only you can determine how it will be spent. Time is the school in which we learn. Time is the fire in which paper. Time is too slow for those who wait, too sweet for those who fear, too long for those who grieve, too short for those who rejoice, but for those who love, time is eternity. Time is what we want most, but what we use worst. Time moves in one direction, memory in another. Time never waits. You have to run to catch the time. Time, our most precious resource. Time waits for no one. Time, thing you can't buy in a store. Tough time never lasts, but tough people do. Until you value yourself, you will not value your time. Until you value your time, you will not do anything with it. Value every moment you have, because time waits for nobody. Value your time and the time of others. Wasting time is worse than death, because death separates you from this world, whereas wasting time separates you from God. We all have time machines. Some take us back, they are called memories. Some take us forward, they are called dreams. We have so much time and so little to do. Strike that, reverse it. What may be done at any time will be done at no time. When I give you my time, I am giving you a portion of my life that I will never get back. So don't waste it. Yesterday is the past, tomorrow is the future, but today is a gift. That is why it's called present. You are not born for fame if you don't know the value of time. Thank you for listening to us.